The end of another week. It's Friday. Picked up the caliper. So we're swapping that out now. Engine bay is all reassembled. Intake, battery, starter, distributor, the whole nine. The whole engine bay is reassembled. So this is gonna be the last piece. Then we're gonna flush the brakes, then turn it on, and I guess that's really it. Once the DA is done, oh, excuse me, the DB. Once the DB is done, we're gonna move over to the Z. Today is day 3 of driving it. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It's doing very well. Everything is exactly how it's supposed to be. It's lovely. But we're gonna put it up anyway. We're gonna double check everything. Well, I don't know what number check this is at this point actually. But we're gonna check it again because once he comes to pick it up on Monday, that's it. So basically anything that can happen needs to happen now. Anything that we could prevent and see ahead of time, we need to prevent and see ahead of time. So we got to be very, 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 very thorough about this one. And all of them, actually, not just that one. That was a crazy thing to say.
Go ahead.
Still dirty?
It's clearing up now.
Car's running again. Timing is set. And because of technology, I can't exactly show you, but just take our word for it. Set the timing correctly. So we're locking down the distributor now, leading the coolant. And as far as the brake situation goes, there's nothing we could do because the line is completely collapsed on the inside. So even with it like this, if we slam the brake pedal, it does not work. But taking it off from here, it immediately starts dripping out of the hard line. So we know the line itself is a problem. So we had to panic order a whole new set of brake lines because if one is bad, then all 4 of them need to be replaced. So unfortunately, the DB will not be leaving tonight like we wanted. It's gonna have to stay a few more days. At least at a minimum though, we were able to flush the whole system and everything in the master and in whatever lines there are anyway, all that stuff is all clean now. In addition to flushing the brakes out, of course this car has ABS as well. Pulled the lid off, and on the inside, looks like a oil reserve. It's gross. So I gotta clean that out too. And you can see the filter that was in there, how nasty all this stuff is. So we're gonna suck that out. We're gonna clean the inside, and then refill it with clean fluid. This is the stuff that destroys your brake system. This is what's floating around in there, eating at all the seals in your caliper, eating at the inside of the lines, plastic pieces, eating the brake master, the seals in your ABS if you have it, so on and so forth. This is the trash that's in there. Much better. The Z had one minor problem that we've been kind of putting off here until the end. Now that we're at the end, troubleshooting it.
Yep.
And Josue found the problem. What was it that you were troubleshooting to begin with?
The horn's not working.
The horn doesn't work.
The horn's not working.
That's right, that's right. So there was some effort involved. What'd you find?
The clock spring is not getting ground from the back of the clock spring to the front of it. So
It's not getting anything.
It's not getting anything. Yeah.
There's no
the airbag.
continuity from the steering column to the steering wheel. Clock spring is bad. There's something wrong with it. You can't exactly fix clock springs. But what did you do to find it?
I troubleshooted every single wire that has to do with the horn. So we troubleshooted the relay inside the engine bay,
Yep.
everything. Made sure that worked.
Mm-hmm.
We made sure the actual horn worked in the first place.
Yeah. We just jumped the wires at the relay and it beep beep.
Yep.
And it works. Okay.
Checked the ground for the horn to the actual chassis. Made sure it had good ground.
Mm-hmm.
Then we checked the buns themselves. Checked if they had continuity between each side of the bun, so the buns work.
Mm-hmm.
And then we unplugged the harness from the clock spring. Checked if it had continuity, which it did, from the harness to the ground. So that had continuity. So then I plugged in the horn to the clock spring and checked continuity there, and there's no continuity, so that only leaves the clock spring.
Boom. There it is. Continuity everywhere, good ground, good power, good everything. So following this diagram here and checking those those grounds there. Because the way the whole system works, so the horns, the body of the horn is the ground. The relay is 12 volts always. So when you press the button on the steering wheel, which is here, all you're doing is bridging the ground circuit through the button. This whole thing is a ground circuit. You bridge it through the button, triggers the relay, sounds the horn. Sends 12 volts, boom, sounds the horn. So we troubleshot this entire thing that made, in a way that made sense for what it was. And everything checked out except for continuity between the clock spring and the steering, or not the clock spring, the plug that is on the steering column for the clock spring and the other side of the steering wheel. So the only thing in between that, of course, is the clock spring itself, which means the clock spring is bad. Excellent troubleshooting. Young Josue, poking wires and looking for signals. As the schedule goes, a car leaves, another one shows up. Sometimes a car doesn't leave and another one still shows up, which is the case here, because the Integra is still here. The DB. Now the Miata's here. This car came some time ago to us. The owner got played pretty hard at the previous shop, and we made a post about it on our Instagram. You can go check it out. Then he came here, and now everything's fine. This is what that space is for. Mazda Speed Miata. It's here because he has a pretty aggravating exhaust leak, and it's coming right from this back corner here. So the manifold and everything is going to come off, gas is going to get replaced, it's all going to go back on. I really don't anticipate this job being easy. That's why Josue is doing it.
Yeah, it's definitely easier than a 300ZX.
It is, because the engine gets to stay in.
Yeah.
Really, this is a one-day job, but you never know when it comes to exhaust stuff, especially with old hardware and things break and snap, we might have to drill something, better not, but all that kind of stuff. He will be back though. His brakes are better than they were, of course, because we fixed the debacle from the previous shop. But the main problem, instead of replacing a caliper, which is what he needs to do, is replace the rear left caliper, he wants to just upgrade everything to 4-piston monoblock calipers, which I guess is the reasonable path in this journey. While Josue is working on that, we're essentially caught up for the week. The I keep saying that, the DB kind of screwed everything up a little bit because it was supposed to leave tonight, but that caliper situation was, not the caliper situation, the brake line situation, not exactly something you can anticipate. But in the meantime, this car here is clean, all clean, of course. You saw Chin cleaned it, and now it's going to head, next week, it starts its journey to go back to Japan. I'm going to work on the Turbo2. We're going to figure out what's wrong with it. Something is going on top of this engine, among other things. Fuel filter sitting in the passenger seat, and I got some block off plates for some crap that we're not going to be using anymore. I think we'll be able to get away with an air pump delete on this round here, but I'm just going to take it apart and just see what I can see, fix what I can fix. And stuff like this is going to be fixed for sure, because that is a pencil inside of this weird vacuum line here. So I'm expecting to see a lot more buffoonery. Top mount's off, and first thing with the shenanigans, there was this weird bolt in here, very cross-threaded, and that's what was holding down the intercooler, so get that fixed. Also, both couplers, this one and that one, were on very loose. They just pretty much just slipped right off, so that, honestly, that's probably the whole problem there, but we're already this deep in. And then there's this. This thing was plugged, and look what it was plugged with. Yes, that is a trim piece for like a panel or something, and it's just kind of stuffed in there like this. So we're gonna get that fixed too. I looked inside the intercooler, everything looks fine. It's nice and clean, it's not full of oil and stuff. It is a little bit dirty, so I might spray some like degreaser or something in here and just let it soak and rinse it out. As far as everything else up here, immediate glance, I don't see anything. What I do know, though, is that the oil injectors are leaking, so we are doing an oil metering pump delete. I have that block off plate here. This is an S4, for whoever wants to know that. So we're deleting the oil metering pump for sure. Upper intake manifold is coming off. I'm pretty sure since everything is going to be apart, I'm just going to go ahead and send the injectors over to Boost Lab and have them clean them up. Because the way that the tank looked, high chance those injectors are poo-poo. So we're going to get that cleaned up too. I got to be careful because I think there might be something in here, gasket, seal, or otherwise, that might be unavailable. I haven't looked, but I'll just try to take things off as assemblies instead, so that we can break loose the minimum amount of things. The intake manifold is off. That was absolutely just retarded. This whole process, I'm aggravated now. But anyway, look at this nonsense in here. Boo-boo, everything. So you see all these little speckles? That's fallout from oil. All this coolant, that was from me cutting this hose off right here, going to the bottom of the throttle body. Nonsense, absolute nonsense. And I think this might have all of everything to do with that problem there. Fuel line was pinched in between a bunch of stuff and it was just completely flattened. And you can see it's been like that for a while for it to have to be holding the shape like this. Definitely not helping at all. So this definitely needs to be fixed. So that's good. The oil injector is leaking. I was 100% correct about that. As you can see, look at that. With just my finger, I can twist that thing around. They're both like that too. Yeah, they're both not even finger tight. They're not tight at all. They're just threaded in. So that's cool. But it doesn't matter because we're deleting it anyway. We're deleting the oil injectors anyway, so it doesn't matter. All this stuff is going to get cleaned up. I'm going to take this bracket off along with a few other things. I'm going to clean up in here real nice. Get this fuel line replaced because this is nonsense. Cap off this coolant line here because it's not needed. And chase these vacuum lines and see what all they go to, because this is like weird arts and crafts vacuum lines. And look at this. Completely folded over. It's not doing anything. So gotta redo the whole vacuum system. Gotta delete all the stuff. Got a lot of cleaning, replacing a fuel line, so on and so forth. I haven't even looked at the upper intake manifold as an assembly yet to see what is actually going on there. This was it. Pulled it off. Turn the camera on. I want it to be real for you guys. I got the Turbo2 fully evaluated now. I got a full parts list of everything that needs to be ordered. I put in an order for some other stuff and blah, 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 blah. So once it all gets here, then progress will be made on this. But otherwise, it's at a stopping point for now. Kind of. The air pump is coming out. Oil metering pump is coming out. Some other crap on that corner over there is coming out. That needs to come out and stuff. But it's all disassembly stuff. And it's all minor stuff. So it's not pressing because we still have to wait on the mail to deliver this stuff. So as far as I'm concerned, this is at a stopping point. Josue's been working on the vert. Air pump is out. The neck piece is replaced. And he's pulling off, can't tell you the acronym for it, but whatever that device is that's on the side of the lower intake manifold, he's deleting that now. And also, so people know, the FD oil metering pump block off plate is the exact same shape as the S5 oil metering pump. Also, the cat is replaced on the AE86 as well. So now it's legal or something. I don't know. But it's replaced. This is what was on there. Tomei. That is the end of our week. Thanks for hanging out. Again, this is our third, well, kind of 2.5 weeks, I guess. Because last week was only 2 videos. 2 work videos, and then like some other stuff that we put out. Go check those videos out if you haven't. Those are extracurriculars. We tore down that oil that had no the engine that had no oil in it. The manual swap, FD manual swap how-to videos up, and then our Japan trip video day 1 is also up. Go check those out if you haven't seen them. They're really good. All right, Josue, it's Friday.
Have a good weekend.
Okay.
Don't crash.
Yep.
Stay alive. Yeah.
He hits all the high points. These are all the important pieces. Do all those things and don't do the things that he didn't say not to do. See you guys next week. Enjoy your weekends.